Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Yes, you've guessed it right. We are not outside today. There's no car behind us, but definitely cars have not gone away. But I'm introducing a new segment onto the channel and I've got an update to share with you guys. So we have decided that we are going to be changing the channel's name from Settled with Gift and Gear to Wheels and Real Life. And it's self-explanatory. The reason for that is that over the past couple of months, the channel has been growing and we're still on a road to 10,000 subscribers. I think now we're somewhere shy of 1,000 subscribers to reach there. But I'm not in a hurry to get there because I do this for passion. The channel is not making money as yet. The day it does make money, you guys will see that. But it's still more of a passion thing. So Wheels in Real Life is a name that represents what we do on the channel. We'll review cars, which is wheels, and also I'm going to be showing you cars the practicality, and which is something I love, of living with a car and what a car can do and all of that. So when we do review a car, we'll also do road trips and a number of other travel things. For those of you that follow me on social media as Gift Makoti written there, you will know that I also do travel content. I'm still a car enthusiast, but I love traveling and it's something I truly intend on doing for a very long time, because it doesn't matter how much you age, you still want to travel. With that being said, you will start seeing some changes onto the channel, but you're still going to be seeing more of gear. You're still going to be seeing me. You're still going to get your car reviews. But let me know in the comment section what you think of the new name. And today we're starting in the new segment. The segment we're starting today is we're going to be sitting down. We have to just think of a name of what we can call this sort of a segment. But we're going to be sitting down, and today we're going to be discussing the top 10 selling cars of 2025. I know it's been a big talking point in a lot of media outlets and all of that, but I figured let's bring it to the channel. Let's talk about them and why they're there. So the overview of 2025 was big because we had over 590 cars, so almost 600,000 cars were sold, brand new cars this we're talking about in 2025. There were a few surprises when it comes to those top 10 cars, because there were some cars that were not in the top 10 last year. Now they are, and some numbers have changed. We're also going to be talking about how Toyota and Ford battled it out in the bakkie segment, because we know Toyota has been selling so many cars, but also Ford has been coming in hot, and because they've got the tech and all of that. But also we're going to talk about how VW has now slipped from second place to third place in the hierarchy of the most selling cars in South Africa. And I'm sure that will be interesting. But also we're going to look at how those numbers impact you and I, the car buyer, and why people are going for those numbers. So let's get into it. So the big one, from 1 to 10, number 1 is a Toyota Hilux. They sold about 36,500 units in 2025. And Toyota has been one of the most trusted brands. But we'll speak about it when we speak about the Hilux versus the Ford. Second on your list will be the VW Polo with 26,000 brand new units in 2025. The third on the list is a Ford Ranger with 25,000 units in 2025. But you must also remember, in the bakkie segment, when they say Ford Ranger, this also includes this car, the super cab, as well as the club cab, as well as the single base. For people that run businesses, they prefer the long base wheel one, because it has a bigger loading bay and all of that stuff. But under the segment of Ford Ranger, they include all of those cars. The same thing applies to Toyota Hilux, because you do have a Hilux, which is a much more smaller looking car, but you also do have your double cab buggies. They have a club cab and a super cab and all of that. Now, moving right along, Suzuki Swift came in, and remember, Swift is all over the road. Suzuki has been doing so well in the past couple of years, and the numbers are there to show themselves. In 2025, they sold, Suzuki Swift specifically, 22,000 units. 22,000 units, Suzuki Swift only. They still have the Fronx, they still have the Baleno, they still have the Ertiga, which the very same cars, you can see them in Toyota with a different badge, same car. But that's a topic for another day that you and I can discuss. And if you've got any questions around that, let me know in the comment section. Coming in at number 5 is the Toyota Corolla Cross, another Toyota. Starting price of that car is about 370,000 Rand. And when I say starting price, mentioning some of these vehicles, I just want to show you a bit of perspective of why these cars are there and why they are selling so much. And this is how much they cost, because people are buying, we see these cars on the road, and sometimes we forget that there's actually a cost attached to this. It's like all the Range Rovers we're seeing on the road, and you keep forgetting that the car they don't have a car that is less than 2 million Rand. They don't have a car that is 900,000 or a million Rand. All the cars are 2 million, 2.6, all the way up to 5 million Rands for the big body Range Rover with all the bells and whistles. Now, coming in at number 6 is the Hyundai Grand i10, the starter pack. You know, everybody in South Africa loves the Grand i10. Same as the ladies that love a Picanto, because it's a cute little runaround car. Fuel economy is perfect. It's not too big, but also it's just a cute car for a young person who just started working. Whether you buy it new or secondhand, there's a lot of Picantos on the road, but also Hyundai is one of the most trusted brands in South Africa. Hence, it's sitting at number 6. And then at number 7, you've got the Isuzu D-Max. Isuzu has been in the country for a very long time. Our uncles, fathers have been buying these cars, and some of them are still on the road. So no surprises there. And then you also do have a Nissan NP200, which now has been discontinued because also Nissan is moving out of South Africa. Story for another day. But there's good news around that, because Sherry will be taking over the plant in Roslyn, which makes me happy, because most of our sisters, brothers, uncles, dads, mothers work in those plants, and they do contribute to the GDP of this country because of the exports that are made locally in South Africa. And then you also have at number 9, another Toyota, a Toyota Starlet, or can also be coming disguised as a Suzuki Baleno. Same car, same but different. Story for another day. At number 10, we've got a Chinese car. Finally, in the top 10, we've got a Chinese car. First Chinese car to be seen in the top 10. I stand to be corrected, but in the past year or so, I have not seen a Chinese car in the top 10, even though we see so much of them on the road. And this is the Chery Tiggo 4 Pro. And we know this is a car that's all over the place. It's got a sunroof. It's got this voice command system. Also, it looks good. The sound system is nice. Touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, it ticks the boxes. So no surprises, but the Chinese manufacturers will be happy to see themselves cracking into the top 10 of the most sold cars. Obviously, in terms of brands, there's a different list which I will attach for you guys to see by brand, with every single car accounted for. These are the list of the brands that have sold the most, and no surprises again. You're seeing Toyota at the top, and then now you're seeing Suzuki, you're seeing VW and Ford into the list. Now, let's chat about what we're seeing from this list and what does it mean. South Africans have proven to us that they love bakkies. Over the past few years, we are seeing less and less and less of sedans on the road, but more SUVs as well as bakkies. But in terms of bakkies, there's always been a tug of war between Toyota Hilux, Isuzu D-Max, as well as the Ford Ranger. And that tells you everything about our market and what people can afford. We also do have cars like a Suzuki Swift that also come into play when we're speaking about pricing. We also have a VW Polo. We also have the Chery Tiggo 4 Pro, because those are cars that are still seemingly so much affordable in terms of the economy and the landscape that we're seeing these days. Because the Vivo is still, I wouldn't call it Vivo expensive. The normal Polo with all the bells and whistles and all the lighting, yes, that has come, and even word around the streets has said that car is overpriced. But, I mean, some people are still buying it. So, Chinese brands breaking in with the Tiggo 4 Pro, that is the most loved one in that segment. But also the pricing on that one at 279,900. That's not bad for the car that comes with all the bells and whistles. Now, let's talk about Toyota versus Ford. Toyota is a car that is so loved because, one, they've got the biggest dealer network in the country. It doesn't matter where in the country you live. You'll have a Toyota dealership down the road. If your car breaks down, if it breaks down, which brings me to my next point. It's so much loved because of its reliability and its capabilities if you're talking 4x4. And that also tells us why it's still sitting at the top. And this is something that Toyota has in the country. Yes, they do have a plant in Durban, but yes, there's a number of other factors. But people go for reliability. They go for a dealer network because people also buy a brand new car. They're like, but if you buy this car, where are you gonna get secondhand parts? If you wanna buy brand new parts, if the car breaks down, you know, a lot of Toyota owners don't have that conversation because they are Toyota Fortuners and Toyota Land Cruisers. They never get stuck. But in this case, we're talking about the Hilux and the Ford Ranger. The reason is that it also has another brand loyalty in the country. People love a Toyota. But Ford is not holding back because it's looking much more modern. It's looking much more better in terms of tech. They've got a better sound system. I mean, look at the screen now. This is a cabin of a Toyota Hilux, and this is how a cabin of a Ford Ranger looks like. There is no debate there. Even if you're loyal to Toyota, we both know that the better looking interior is a Ford. And this is probably one of the reasons why. But also, it tells us that the reason why Ford has won the tug of war when it comes to double cab buggies, and that's why they sold more double cab buggies than a Toyota. There's two reasons here. One reason could be because of the theft element of how Toyotas have been stolen in the country over the past few years. This is not banter, it's the truth. And maybe that's why people stopped buying the double cabs, or they didn't really stop, but they held on a bit and they're buying the Ford Rangers, which are also being stolen. But also, another reason is Ford Rangers look far better. They look more beautiful than the GD6s, the Hiluxes. Because if you look at this car and you look at this car, and we just spoke about the interior, but the exterior also looks good because I must say, being in a Ford Ranger is a little bit much more lifestyle-like of a type of guy. You can wear a suit and get into a Ranger and go to a meeting. You still look decent. But if you're in a Hilux, you're expected to be doing something of lifting heavy machinery because you're going on site, you're doing 4x4 off-roading, you're doing camping. The Ford Ranger can still do that. But on the flip side, it does that and it can still look good when you drive it in city and you're doing lifestyle type of things with such a car. Even ladies are driving those cars these days. So the Ranger is a little bit much more modern, it's got more high tech, and it's more powerful than ever. If I'm not mistaken, the least powerful one is sitting at about 154 kilowatts and 600 Newton meters of torque. That's not bad at all. I don't even want to talk about the Raptor, which is on a league of in a league of its own, and we are waiting to see a reply from Isuzu, a reply from Toyota to challenge the Raptor. BYD has tried with the BYD Shark 6, but because it's an electric car, it's slightly debatable. Now, why did VW fall into third? When we know VW, when you've got Toyota, you'll see VW second because that's the people's car. It's one of the most loved cars in the country, especially the Polo. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, pricing, without a debate. Number two is now there's a whole lot much more open market in terms of other cars that are available that you can buy for the same money you can buy a Polo. Chinese guys are here. They're spending money on R&D and then bringing the cars into the country for far cheaper, even though I read somewhere that they're actually far cheaper somewhere else than in South Africa. But that's a story for another day. And then another big reason is that Suzuki has flooded the market with the Swift, which is competing with the Polo. That's one car that is driving on the road. It's been on the road for the longest of time. Even the first generation Swifts that we saw in the country about 10, 15 years ago are still on the road. So that says Polo has an alternative now. If you don't have money to buy a Polo or you're scared your Polo is going to get stolen, you can buy yourself a Suzuki. But there's still a lot of people that love style because Polo has style. It's got the looks. Also, it's socially acceptable into the market. But people are slightly warming up into Japanese cars. And in this case, I'm referring to specifically Suzuki. And then again, they're also warming up to some of the Chinese brands that are rivaling the Polo. So if there's a segment where a car is in trouble, the Polo is in trouble because a lot of people that could have easily bought a Polo are now buying a Tiggo 4 Pro. Or if they've got a little bit of money or they got a bit of a family, maybe one child or two kids, they can go for a Tiggo 7 Pro, which looks far better than a lot of cars on the road. And before we end the show, I want to touch on this thing that I saw just the other day. It is important for me to know this because I read just the other day that the Corolla Cross as well as the Hyundai Grand i10, or is it the i10, had very less ratings in terms of NCAP. What is NCAP? NCAP is a call it a system or a grading system that shows if the car is safe or not. And if your car scores 5 stars, 3 stars, or 4 stars, that is acceptable. But if it scores 1 star, that car is deemed unsafe. So if you get into an accident, you've got people, whether you're wearing a safety belt or not, you can actually get injured, or worst case scenario, you can die, God forbid. So I want to ask you a question because these things keep happening. A lot of people don't know about these NCAP things. So I wanted to ask you, when you buy a car, when you want to buy a brand new car, do you just look at the pricing, the brand, the fuel economy, or you also look at safety? Obviously, there's maintenance cost as well. But out of the four things, price, brand, fuel economy, and the maintenance cost, what do you look at the most? And then tell me if you also look at how many airbags does it have and all of those things. Because it's all good and well when the car looks beautiful, but sometimes we do forget that the very same car can get into an accident and your life will be on the line. So jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think. And as I wrap up this video, I just want to thank you for watching up until this far. So there you have it. We've got our first segment of what we're going to call the segment of a sit down, or cars and sit down, or sitting down with cars, or whatever. But let me know what you think of the segment and if we should bring more topics, or you can even recommend more topics that we can tackle. But we'll be doing this maybe twice a month. But thank you for watching. I know this ran up until something like 16, 17 minutes. I want to thank you for watching and catch you on the next one. Tango.